We almost know nothing about what had happened in terms of meditation practices. For example, how monks in the past did meditation practice, how people did any sort of practice in the past. That's why I find it interesting to explore meditation practices and what's been happening in Siam and Laos in all other countries. My name is Pibun Chumpon Paisan. I'm Dean of the College of Religious Studies at Mahidol University. I completed my MA and PhD in the study of religions as well as School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. I've done the work in the UK for almost 10 years and I have a strong interest in research on pre-modern meditation practices. I find this interesting because it's a kind of forgotten history of meditation practices. We all know about how we do meditation practices in today's world, and we have a kind of textual evidence of an explanation of meditation in the text like Visuddhimagga or the Pali Canon. But we don't know anything about what monks and people actually practice in the past. So that's why I'm trying to understand this. And in this article in particular, I'm trying to use textual evidence in order to understand how things are explained in the text about meditation practices. So I cover the period from the 17th century until present. So basically, I'm just trying to understand the important texts by the senior monks, like the Supreme Patriarchs in Siam and Laos at different periods of time. Trying to understand these senior monks would explain about meditation practices so that we can learn more about meditation practices. And because there's a variety of meditation practices in the past, so I'm trying to just to pay attention just to one particular technique, which I call nimitta, or in English the sign form. Even though I'm trying to focus on just nimitta meditation, there still seem to be various methods how to do meditation according to the text that I'm using in my study. In my study, I'm trying to cover the use of published materials before the mid-20th century, as well as manuscripts, both palm leaf manuscripts and paper manuscripts, because these are kind of textual evidence that we can still explore to understand meditation practices. As I focus on a study of nimitta, I realized that there are several things that we actually learned from the text, I mean the pre-modern text that I'm actually using. Just to give you an example, when in today's world, when we're thinking of nimitta, we seem to be thinking about using nimitta in a way that we are operating it as a way to control our mind. But in pre-reform text that I'm using, actually, it's not just that. Nimitta is actually something, a kind of entity that is appearing, and also a kind of Dhamma and Dhamma entity. There are several things that are actually coming up in meditation practices. So in different texts, there are different explanations of nimitta in terms of forms, in terms of different features. But actually, we do learn about there are some common use of nimitta, not just for meditation, for spiritual progress, but actually people use meditation for healing. So there are several sort of illnesses that can be sorted through meditation. And apart from that, people also use a meditation for For other reasons, for example, in the war, sometimes people use meditation as a means for protection as well. So there's different uses of meditation in the past. So this is just a kind of overview that I'm trying to explain about what I actually have done in my research. But there is further detail that if you find this interesting, please feel free to follow me on by searching Scopus Index database, just typing my name, simply typing Pibun Chumpon Phaisan in English.